There's also the astral planing and like traveling outside your mind and like getting into other people's dreams and communicating. Like that's happened to me before, like actually recently. Really strange. So
what happened?
Well, basically someone came to me in a dream who I haven't spoken to in a couple years, and she told me that she was having a baby, and I was like, oh, really interesting. And then like the next day we both contacted each other, and I said, are you having a baby? And she's like, yes. And it's like weird, because I had a dream that you told me already. I don't think it's coincidence, because the two of us had contacted each other at the same time. We hadn't spoken in a few years, you know. I think both of us are in shock at the moment. It's like, how did you know that? I'm like, because you told me in a dream. I mean, it's real, it really happened. So we're both like, okay, step back and kind of look. I mean, maybe it's coincidence, but I don't know. It's just too close to home that, you know.
Breaking all the fingers and the nails from my hands. The eyes of the child see no.
I'm not saying I can read minds or anything, but you know, I think dreams really mean something, you know, and I think people that can communicate, you just don't really believe it, you know, when you have crazy dreams and about someone, and someone else might say, hey, I had that same dream, and you're like, really, did we talk? And like, because I have dreams of my father who passed away, you know, almost 10 years ago, and I always go to him for advice about, you know, things like, because he was very into like very technical, like stereos and hi-fi stuff, like fixing, you know, speaker ohmage and ohmage, yeah, and like, you know, volts and all that shit. And I'll be like asking him questions in my dreams, and he'll be like, oh yeah, well this load of 8 ohms goes to 16 ohm, and you can run it up to 60, like telling me stuff like that. And I don't know if I'm dreaming it or if I'm really speaking with him, or because I'll wake up the next day and be like, oh, I think my dad told me that, or he'll tell me a joke or something, and I'll like remember the joke, and it's like, is he really communicating with me? Or? But I don't know if it's somewhere already in my mind and I'm just tapping into it, or my father's really like talking to me from beyond, you know. But you never know. You can't really, you know, say, oh, that's not true, unless you gotta, you know, if you believe in it, maybe it's really happening.
Now that you maybe are more open for it, then it occurs.
Yeah, now I'm wide open. I'm like, kind of like my radars are on, and now when I go to sleep and I have dreams, I'm trying to like write them down and talk to other people about them and be like, did you have anything like this happen to you, or the person that's in the dream maybe contacting? Because when in the dream, when it was so real that when she told me she was having a baby, I was like, okay, well, that's why I contacted her. I wrote to her, and she wrote to me at the same time and said she had a dream too that I was in. I was like, okay. I was like, are you know? So I think if it weren't for the dream, I wouldn't have contacted her.